Hiya, back to easy restorations and the VW Touran drop the gearbox task DIY at home. Am I mental? Probably. Right, what have I got to so far? Well, it took me like an hour to get the wheel off because it had semi-seized to the brake disc, or rotor as the Americans like to call it. So I've put the wheel under the car just in case anything fails jack wise. At least it stops me getting squished under there. Right, so what have I got to so far? I wanted to get this hub net off. It's 24mm multi-torque, multi-splines. It's 12 sides, and I've been banging, I've been hammering, I haven't got a socket. In the end, I decided to go for let's undo the 6 nuts and the sort of lock rings and pull this away, which I've done. I have removed the inner, this piece goes through into the gearbox itself, into the diff, and this shiny surface there mates with that nice, where are you, that nice oil seal in there. I've got replacement seal, so that's not an issue. Okay, so we'll pop that back in there. There is a special looking bolt which holds that flange into the gearbox itself, and that's what that is. That is a CRV6, just a normal hex size. Okay, so that's good. I've just chucked all the bolts that are coming off, I've just chucked them in the one bucket, so I can't go wrong on reinstall. Okay, so I undid obviously the 3 wishbone retaining bolts. Some of you might have a ball joint assembly here, in which case you split the ball joint by undoing the top nut and cracking it open, but luckily mine's the good type, so did that. Used the bar to just put that, which allowed me to go like this and pop off and there. Right, I just need to do the same to the other side, and away we go. Lupus has kicked in. I'm knackered. I've only taken 2 wheels off, disconnected both drive shafts, so that's another day. Got to call it a day, guys. Right, yes, I've got the second inner shaft out, so the drive shaft is just laying down now on that front subframe. And there we go. I've just got right in the middle of the picture there, that is the dog bone bush, which steadies the engine. Bolts on there, and then bolts on under the box. Where are we? There, sort of thing. Where are we? There. So that needs to come off, but I can't do any more. I'm absolutely flipping drained already. Mad, isn't it? Right, catch you in a minute. Bugger. Hello VW lovers. How am I getting on with the gearbox? Well, I'm removed both the drive shafts this morning. I had to buy a special kit with the 24mm 12-sided thing. Nice little kit, 17 quid online. And oh look, so I say, got both the shafts out of the way, one from that side, one from the other side. Pull the wheel back together, suspension parts back together, and there we are. There's the dual mass flywheel, which is absolutely perfect. There's a tiny bit of play left and right, which is what you're meant to have. Anything more than sort of 12-15mm of play left and right, and that is knackered. But that is absolutely fine, considering the car's only done 53,000 miles. It's a shame we're taking this out already, but there we are. I've got it down here. Use my little Stanley trolley jack. I've got the bottle jack, the trolley jack over there, supporting that side of the engine. And it was just a question of jiggling top mounting bolts, gearbox mounting bolts, and just gently taking them out and lowering this thing gingerly and just sort of teasing it off of the flywheel and the housing. The gearbox end of the engine, this is the mount for that. Okay, that bolts to the car, and this piece bolts on there, and then that piece bolts onto the gearbox. So Obviously, since you take that off, the engine just wants to go so hence the trolley jack underneath the plank of wood just supporting. I've also got another axle stand under there as well, just to make sure. You can see it in the background there, just to make sure. Let's have a look around the front. There you go, better safe than sorry, guys, eh? So this box just need now, it had a little bit of a wee literally half a cupful, because it's actually now on its face. That's this end of it. I need to now undo these 3 nuts under there, which I've done, and to just pop that out of the cradle, out of the lower wishbone, pull that back a bit, and somehow just jiggly that out here. I'm pretty sure we're going to have enough room if we rotate it a bit and what have you. And as such, I've got a nice piece of slidey board which I'm going to put down on the floor in a second. So then we can just slide that basically off of there onto the board, which gives us another 4 inches of clearance. So it should come out there quite nicely. Bugger me, was that tough? Yeah, do I recommend doing it yourself on your driveway? Only if you're stupid like me. Like I say, guys, I'm not a professional at this. I'm a mechanic, I'm an electrician, but I've got confidence in myself, hopefully, that I can do this job. All the parts are here now. I've got the new clutch kit, the dry DSG double clutch kit. So at the moment we're in about, I don't know, about £750–800, and I've got the gearbox nearly out of the car, ready to try and split it and get in there, put that new reverse and 6-gear selector fork in there. Right, time to get rid of all this. My ribs are hurting, my body's aching. Lupus gets you in the silliest things. It stops you doing what you're used to doing without any issues. It really kicks your ass. But it's something that I needed to get done myself, because I can't afford to have anybody else do it, because it's thousands. Anyway, right, better go. Helicopter's coming. Apache. Hi, welcome again to Easy Restorations. VW Touran 1.6 TDI, DMF, DSG Auto 7-speed, attempting to change the rear selector shaft. Right, as you saw from the last video, the box is out and it is on the work table thing. So I think the best we've got to do is we've got to split the 2 cases. So we've got to undo all the bolts all the way around the circumference of the 2 shells, and also there are some bolts hidden underneath here. We've got a new one of these to put in. It is the dual the twin clutch assembly. Having said that, when I take it off, you'll see there's not really an awful lot wrong with that, but as the car's done 53,000, I thought, par for course, I've got a new one, let's just get it in there, let's just change it, get it sorted. So that needs to come out. So first of all, I need to remove that big circlip in there, and I can start taking things off in unison. Got a few little tools there, bucket of tools there, impact driver. Let's go. Right, first things first, get me brew. Right, here it is. First of all, you remove this huge circlip. I managed to get a flat blade screwdriver in there and just sort of push it that way and sort of work around until it came out of there. So that's that thing. Pop that down there. Then you have to take out this centre piece like that. There you go. Pop that down there. Then you have another circlip. Ka-ching! Oh look, it's fell off. That was a sausage. Anyway, tap one of these ends either way, that way or that way, and then this will open out. Get your screwdriver in there and just follow it around. And when you're 3/4 of the way around, don't keep going, because it will spring off and land in your eye. So get your fingers on it and just pop that out of there. Now here comes the exciting bit. Okay, here is the clutch system itself. There is one of the discs, and the other disc is in there, the other side of this brace wheel. Okay, so I need to remove this from this shaft. Now, apparently, well, there is a three-legged, great big piece of iron and a pulley and all the rest of it. It's 300 quid, lads, 280 quid. There is no one on this planet I'm paying that sort of money. So I have got my little baby puller out like that, you see. So what I did is I popped the end off of there, I unscrewed this piece, turned it around, screwed it back on, put the end back on. So now it is one of those. And I've also angle grinded these off, because that was quite long, this piece. It was about here. Focus. It was about here. So I've ground it down. I've made that thinner, just so it gets a good purchase under there, you see, like so. So I am gonna sit that on the center there, put the three legs out, and hopefully when I wind a 12mm spanner on there, that should gently lift this bearing and the clutch assembly off of this shaft. Now, because I don't have money falling out of my arse, as you guys know, I do everything on a budget, but I don't cut corners. If this doesn't work, then I'm going to have to beg, borrow and steal. Not so much the steal, but the beg and borrow from good friends who may have this jiggy thing. And then comes the hard part, which is separating the two halves, because this shaft goes right down through the gearbox, and the other end there is another bearing that is pressed into the other side of that housing, that end, and this shaft is pressed into the bearing. So you need a special toolage thing, bracketry, to sort of bolt onto this and then press on there, and it sort of lifts this whole half clear, so you can carry on. Now, I do have a bit of stainless steel threaded rod, which I can utilise in there. You see, perhaps it's a good 750mm long, so I could perhaps chop that in half, put another one in there, and then do a bracket across and fix something up on this side perhaps, and then put a bar across there, metal bar across, 2 holes in it, and then wind something down to do that for myself. So there's always ways around things if you think outside the box. Or easier still, just watch my videos. That's good, isn't it? If you want to like and subscribe, that would be great. I'd be able to afford some more coffee, wouldn't I? I've been at this now about an hour. Fatigue is setting in rather quickly. Seriously, I went and sat down just now. Caroline bought me a coffee out. Brought a coffee to me, and I had a job to get out the sofa. So I'm going to do this as quick as possible, and then it's shower and feet up, because lupus saps the life out of you. It really does, and I can't stress that enough. Right, let's get me thingamajiggy bobbing me on there, me tripod, and see if I can get this clutch off. Wish me luck. What do you reckon? Yes or no? Right, with the assistance of my beautiful wife.
Ooh.
This is working. It's tricky with one hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
She cried. There we go.
That's it, isn't it?
And the clutch is out.
Yes!
Facial on me.
Yes!
Whoa, dude!
Something just fell off though.
Yeah, my fucking sense of humour. Right, pause it.
That's
got to be worth a swig of brew, isn't it? Wow. Fandaby dozy. So we're getting into the meat and two veg of this. You got 2 clutch forks there. That one does one clutch for one gearbox, and this one does the other clutch. So you got effectively 2 release bearings there, and a series of shims. There's a shim there. Yeah, and there we go. So right, I'm gonna make a mental note of everything that's going on here. So 2 release, all this stuff is in the new kit, guys. It's okay, it's 420 quid, but doing it yourself, yes, it's a pain in the ass. No, I don't really suggest you try this yourself. If you can afford to get it done by somebody else, please get it done by somebody else. But if you can do something like this yourself, or you think you've got the balls to have a go yourself, then bloody well do it. Right, so we'll take that off. That's 1 clutch release bearing. Yeah, it feels pretty good, but like I say, it's done 53,000. So then we'll take this collar off of there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upend that. So when I take things off, I'll then upend it and put it back over so we know what's going on here. Right, there's a whole clutch lever mechanism with the bearing in situ, so that actually pops out there. You got a ball bearing one end and like a plastic seat or shoe the other end. So that's that. Oh, I see, it just clips in. That you pull it, little clip back, snap it in there, and that's that. I mean, that feels. Yeah, that feels. I mean, that's got plenty of life left in it. Plenty of life left in it. But like I say, I got the new one, so just before I have a go, I am so chuffed that that little DIY bodge actually done something. It's actually worked. We can take all this assembly off together. This bottom one, perhaps we can't. Okay, what's stopping that then? I find my little eye, from beginning with, it's stuck. Why isn't that coming out then? I don't know. So you got the two. Normal gearbox should have one shaft coming out, and then your clutch plate and your disc sits on there. Well, it bolts to the flyball. Then you thread this through into the crankshaft, and it sits spline up with the clutch disc. And Bob's your uncle. But this one, you got two. You got the one gearbox and the second gearbox. It is amazing, really. The technology in there is just flipping mad bonkers. Right, I'm going to need to drink me brew and work out how this comes out. I've got a feeling it's all on this plate, and so if I undo these two, that whole assembly comes out. You VW workers, you'll probably go, yeah, that's how you do it, you muppet. Right, let me undo those and see if we can get that off. Okay, I've just whizzed these two out. These are T30s, so Torx 30s. And yes, this lot does slide out of there in one piece. There we go, like so. Now this end here, that sits on a little pivot. Here, it's a little, like a nylon pivoty thing. And you get a new one in the kit, so definitely change that, because it is only like nylon after all said and done. Right, I might be able to use, what's that, M6? It looks like M6, doesn't it? Might be able to utilise that for pulling at a later date. Okay, got the oil seal. I've got the kit for that, got the oil seal and everything. This is a no, it's not, that's the T30. This is a T45, I do believe. Focus, T45. Just whack that at the end of there. This is on what I was on about. You got the 6 bolts hidden underneath all this clutch. You can go around undoing all this lot, and it won't come apart because you need to take this out. Right, let's whiz these out then. Another one, 7. Right, I'm going to whiz them out. I'll hook that out when I've got this this half off and I can give this a good clean, because all this black nonsense is basically clutch plate or clutch disc material that's worn, and there's also a little bit of oil in there as well. Don't like the look of. Got a little drain hole there, but still you can see, yeah, how much crud is there. So all needs degreasing in there. That'll be spot on then. And I'll, like I say, change that oil seal. I'm going to change the oil seal on the. I'm going to check the engine, the crankshaft oil seal, because you never know. There's no point in putting it all back together without sweeping, and you get grease or you get oil in this housing, and it just ruins everything. Starts slipping and all the rest of it. I have oil seals each side to change for the output shafts. This is where drive shafts go on. So yeah, looking good, isn't it? Got a couple of plugs to put on, blank plugs go on there, and there's another one somewhere. This, incidentally, is a little inspection cover. You can look through there and you can see the thicknesses of the clutch plates, just so you can see visually if your clutch is nearing death. Alright, so we can pop that out and give that a clean as well. Ooh, it's only a bit of plastic. That needs to go in the spin dryer, otherwise known as a dishwasher. And before I just whip these out, I'm going to make a little piece of cardboard, and I'm going to poke them through holes, so I know which bolt goes into which hole, etc, etc. Right, we're getting there, guys, aren't we? Okay, let's have a quick look in here. Well, I've done a drawing basically of this. Now, how come? Is it just me, or does that look a bit rude? Hey, I don't know. Right, let's start off over in this corner. Pop it in there. And I'll go round and so on and so forth. All 7 bolts, put that to one side safely. On top of the freezer, probably. Yeah. It does look a bit rude, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh, I'm such a child. And I've got another larger piece of card there to do all the other bolts around and about. Hockey docky. Right, let's remove my okay bolts. I've done the other drawing. See the ones that I've marked under there? Well, there's quite a few of them. That one shouldn't be, you know, I missed a hole out, so forget that one. And incidentally, they're all the same size, and I have got new replacements. Thank you to my good friend. Right, the ones underneath, they're multi-torques. Why? Just why? I don't know. Is that because they've got to be extra torque? I suppose they're extra torqued up, aren't they? Right, okay, so I've got about 6 of those to come off, 7 perhaps. Luckily I've got a decent kit, isn't it? Anyway, so I've upended it now. That end's a clutch end. Here we go. So I need to take this panel off as well, this inspection panel, to see the selectors and other things. Here's screws I put back in when I initially took the thing apart. Start motor hole. Right, there we have a full set. So we've got multi-torques, 3 there, 1 at the bottom, 2 at the side. So that's 6 all in all, and the rest of them are normal T45s. Right, guys. Basically, you need a really decent set of tools to even flip and attempt this, I reckon. If I had anything less, they would have sheared off these ends. They would have snapped off. This is a really good set. I'm really happy with that. So yeah, spend as much as you can on tools if you're going to be DIYing maintenance in your car. Here's the offending critter. That needs to come out, and I need to split the cases, and I need to find pieces of metal in here, so it'll be Magnet City in a while. Not today though, because I am absolutely burnt out now. If it wasn't for the help of Caroline, I wouldn't have got half of this done, bless her. Right, well, I'll catch you in a bit, and wish us luck. Right, just before I retire for the day, I thought I'd just quickly whip this plug out, because this is where that shaft comes up into the end bearing. So what I basically did is I drove a metal banging screwdriver in there, and then I spun it round, and it kind of unscrewed really and popped out, because I have actually got two of these. One came in the kit, and I actually purchased one with the seals, so I've got 2 loads of seals for this gearbox. Right, now that's out of the way, we have another one of those circlips there, which is basically a question of, I'm actually going to use my pliers to get that off in a minute, and then that releases that shaft, so we can actually lift that off of the shaft, but that clip needs to come out of the way there. Okay, now I thought I'd just try my luck, as it seems to be going very well, and I had a good look around the case. Okay, and there is like a little trough in there. So what I did is I popped my lever in there. Look at that. That popped up straight away, and then I found a little ridge there without marking anything. There we go. So do I really need a puller? Which you'll find out when that circlip is removed. I think it's time for a brew, don't you? Right, that is off. That was a little bit of a sausage, I've got to say. Look at the thickness of it, and you've got to spread those jewels apart. If you're good at spreading things apart, you'll find it easy. But anyway, there's my old pliers. I got them in there like that, sprung them out, and then managed to get me flat blade in there again, and quite very gingerly work it around. Like I say, don't go all the way because it will pling off. And sort of managed to grab hold of it with me adjustable pliers, and bang, off it came. And there it is, it's surrendered. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Tool. You have earned your £8.99, definitely. Right, that is definitely enough for today. I'm almost collapsing, so catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button if you haven't already done so, and subscribe and share with your mates. See you later.